You're about to watch me read Lord of the Flies, William Golden. This is, of course, a literary classic. Part of my 2024 reading goals is to read all of the classic books that I've always wanted to, but just never have for whatever reason. And Lord of the Flies is one. I've already read Dracula and Catcher in the Rye this year, which I'll do for my end of month recap, where I'll kind of talk about those. But today we're going to be reading Lord of the Flies. I honestly don't know anything about this book. All I know is about it's like a bunch of little boys and they end up on like a deserted island and I think they eat each other or something. I don't know. And I think there's pigs. There's something about pigs that I've heard. So I have absolutely no idea what this book is about. And so that's kind of exciting because it's always like you never really know what to expect. So we'll see if I'm right or like if I'm super off, because honestly I have no idea. So I'm very excited to read Lord of the Flies today. Pages into the book and I have to pause right now just because I have to go to work now. So on my break I'm gonna read some more, and then after work I'll also do some reading, so I'll update you. But so far where I'm at is really enjoyable. Like so far this is like, these are my thoughts and stuff. Like I think that it's written really well. It immediately like captured my attention. Like the first page I was like, oh, interesting. I feel really bad for this guy named Piggy, which I feel so bad calling him that because we don't actually know his real name. Like they're just calling him Piggy, and it makes me sad. But he's a sweet guy so far from what I've seen. And I think he's the guy on the cover because like they said he has glasses and like a scar, so I think this is a picture of him. I'm not really sure, but he's sweet, and yeah, I like him. And so it's really interesting, like the dynamic right now, and they're like trying to create like some kind of like rules. They like appointed like a chief and all of this, and they're basically just, this is like their first morning. Like nighttime hasn't happened. I feel like something bad is gonna happen at nighttime because this one kid was talking about like a snake that only appeared at nighttime, and I was like, interesting. So far so good. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm gonna look forward to reading it some more on my break. So we are now pretty close to the end of this book, and so far so good. It's basically got to the point where, so there's these groups of kids, right? And there's one who is kind of like appointed as chief, and then some of the other ones who are like hunters, and one of the guys wanted to be a chief. And there's been a lot of like arguing and tussles and like all that kind of stuff in the book. And so now they've kind of like separated in their own areas. So now one of the guys who wanted to be chief is chief, but for like his own kind of people who are like the hunters, and then the other guy who was chief the whole time still has like his group of people and all that. And so I'm interested to see like where that goes, because like they seem more kind of like in tune with being an animal, which obviously like that's kind of like the thing that's going on within the book. And then the other ones who are trying to like hold on to like rules and society. So I'm really interested to see like how the dynamics are going to evolve now that it's like those kind of like tension factors have been separated, especially like with the hunters, because like they fascinate me so much. So I'm very excited to find out what happens next. So I'm going to continue reading and I'll update you when I'm done. I've officially finished Lord of the Flies, and so far it's my favorite of the classics that I've started to read, because like my next classic I want to read is To Kill a Mockingbird, and then I'm gonna get a bunch more classics as well because there's so many that I want to read. So this one's my favorite of the classics so far, I think, because it's like really fast paced. It has you on the edge of your seat when you're like reading it. There's a lot of like complexity and the symbolism, like even his glasses, like that's like a symbol in itself, and it's like, whoa, it's so good, like it's so clever. And I had a lot of fun reading it, and I was really stressed out when I was reading it as well, because like I was like, I knew characters were gonna die, but I didn't know how or who or when. And so when like one of the other characters, one of the big uns died, I was like, and especially learning like what Lord of the Flies is and like what it kind of spoke to, and then like when a character kind of figures it out, and then like the irony in that whole situation, I was like, this is so good. And even the ending, like the ending, what one of the characters at the end said just made me so annoyed, because it's like they've been on the island for like what I assume is probably a couple of years, because they talk about like how long their hair has gotten and stuff. So yeah, this one was really easy to read. I didn't want to put it down. I really liked it. So like, yeah, if you like that kind of story, if you're looking for a classic to read, it's pretty short as well. So give Lord of the Flies a try. It is a lot more disturbing than I thought, but not in the same way. There wasn't any cannibalism, which I don't know why I thought that was a thing, but it was not in this book. So you don't have to worry if you're scared about cannibalism, because it's not in the book, which is nice. But yeah, it's pretty disturbing, especially I know like this is the book they give to teenagers in school. So, and I really love like the character development of Ralph, because he starts off just kind of like an immature little boy, and then he evolves into like something much more like an actual leader, and then like kind of the evolution of Jack and like his hunters and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that is so cool. Like I loved watching the dynamic, and as like time goes on, how it's kind of split around. And again, like I mentioned, all the symbolism is really good, especially like the conch, like the shell, like as soon as the thing happened to it, I was like, oh, whoa. And then also like towards the end, like with the fire, like it's kind of funny because like the way the fire happens and all of that, like I don't want to spoil it for you, but yeah, I thought that was really cool as well. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notification. That way you get notified anytime a new video comes out. I am reading a lot. I always read a lot. I read 105 books last year. So if you like book content, book vlogs, anything among that realm, then this is the channel that you probably want to watch and have a good time with. Comment down below what your favorite classic book is, or what your least favorite classic book. My least favorite, Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. Hated that book. I hate that book so much. Least favorite. So far, favorite classic book, Lord of the Flies. So I'm definitely curious to hear yours. So with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!